Hey everyone, and welcome back to Amados Strategies channel. I am Sundus Amdadal. I'm the CEO and founder of Amados Strategies, and today our video is on personal branding. I have got for you the deepest secrets that I have learned from my experience with personal branding, with my clients, and I have brought to you the things that you really need to know and the things that you really need to focus on, and what I even train my team on it. So this video is basically going to be the ABCs of personal branding. So stick around if you want to learn more about the importance of personal branding. If you want to understand how can you design your own personal brand, I got you. All of it is covered, even the rates with the platforms. I'm going to be talking about them one by one so you know what is worth your effort and what isn't. I'm trying this new microphone, so I deeply hope you guys stick around for this video. There's going to be also some sort of graphics and also a presentation that I'm going to be sharing in order to help you more understand. So bring your paper and pen and let's get started. Personal branding refers to the practice of individuals marketing themselves and their careers as brands. It involves developing and promoting a distinct and authentic image, reputation, and identity that sets you apart from others in your field or industry. Just as companies and products have brands that define their identity, values, and messaging, individuals can also create personal brands to showcase their unique qualities and skills. Now, why should you consider starting your own personal brand online? Now, there's many reasons for that, and honestly, I am really glad that I took this step. And you don't have to be like an influencer with I don't know how many followers. This all is different than you just putting yourself out there to build your personal brand. So now, if I'm going to tell you about the benefits that I have gained from building my own personal brand, was first thing is it opened to me many networking opportunities. Also, one of the aspects is I have realized that my self-confidence have improved a lot because I'm able right now to just sit and talk to the camera. Like literally, I'm imagining there's people on the other side, and there is people on the other side who are listening to me. So the personal development aspect as well is there. So the thing is, you get to grow as a person, you get to network with people in your industry and people who relate to the things that you like as well. Also, one of the very important aspects is actually differentiation and credibility and trust. So the thing is, often when we go to apply for jobs, for example, all they see is just a CV. So the thing is, they can't really tell your character because there's many factors when you are hiring a person for a specific job. It's not just okay how good they are, but it's also their characteristics. That's also like who they are as a person is really important. If you feel like you can connect with them, if you feel like they are friendly, you can trust them. So the thing is, when you're putting your personal brand online, this creates trust and credibility with the clients that you want to work with, or with people in general who you want to collaborate with, whether they're going to be your employees, whether they're going to be your partners, whether they're going to be your clients. This sets a lot of credibility and trust that is out there. And at the same time, it's going to create differentiation. So the thing is, yes, for example, I can know how to do very successful PPC campaigns, but I'm not the only one in the world. So when you're creating your personal brand online, this sets the bar of how unique you are. This is going to show not only your skills that are unique, but also you as a human being, because we're all different, okay? So the thing is, when you're doing your personal brand, when you're showing yourself online, this shows like this is only this person can do this. Like only Sundus is Sundus. No one else is going to be Sundus. So this is the unique part about having your personal brand out there. Now you want to start your own personal brand. So there's a couple questions that we have to address together before we move forward. First thing is, I want you to ask yourself, what are you passionate about? What is something that you enjoy doing? Sometimes what we're doing as a career is not really what we are passionate about. So sometimes you starting your personal brand online can be an opportunity to turn your passion into a career. So just sit with yourself and ask yourself this question, that what are you passionate about? Second question is, ask yourself, what am I good at? And by the way, what you are good at is not just, don't think about, okay, I am good at drawing, or I am good in math, or whatever. Sometimes even you as a communicator, or as a person who can communicate, is a very big skill, which is something that if you're able to put out there is going to be able to attract people to you. Now, the third question that you have to ask yourself is, what makes me credible? Why should people trust you? Do you have some sort of degree in what you're good at and what you're passionate about? Do you have the experience? Do you have a portfolio that you have built? You have to show people why are you credible, why they can actually trust you. Now, the fourth question to ask here is, what are my own personal brand goals? So the thing is, how do I want to be perceived? Where do I want to be like 5 years from now, 1 year from now? What are the opportunities that I'm looking for with building my own personal brand? All of these questions, they need to be identified and they need to be pointed out before you start moving forward. Now I'm going to be sharing with you my secret, and for the first time online, of how to formulate your content in starting your own personal brand. Okay, so your brain is designed to remember stories, not numbers or facts. What does that mean? That means that if I sit right here and tell you, oh, this number of percentage, I don't know, people did this, and then this number of people reacted that way, trust me, as soon as you close the video, you're gonna forget all the numbers. So how would you want people to remember you? How would you want people to relate to you? By sharing a story. A story is your key here, and this is what we're going to be focusing on when we are building our content and when we are creating the hooks, which I'm going to be explaining a little bit more. So since you're the main character of this good story, you will have to actually reflect again to yourself. You have to ask yourself, what am I good at? What have I overcome? What is my current mission? And most importantly is what makes me credible. So I think it's very important to identify those questions that we have actually came across earlier in order for us to move forward, in order for us to formulate our unique story. So first thing is we want to focus more on telling a story or doing storytelling type of content more than just statistics and numbers, because people are just going to forget that. Of course, if you want to leave resources for your content, you can always leave that in the description or in your caption or your bio. But the thing is, people don't really need to see that in the video. This is something that's just going to make them scroll away, because people's mind and their attention span right now is really less. They can't just focus on like complicated details anymore. And speaking of attention spans, if you're creating content, I would suggest to just keep your videos from 7 to 12 seconds, and specifically those reels, shorts that you're working on. Even for TikToks, these work the best. And try to just like deliver your message right away when you are telling in those. Like, for example, some of them you would put like a trendy audio and then they're just going to be telling you the story quickly by like syncing, like doing like a punch, and then that text is going to be shown on the screen, and this is right away just going to be delivering the message. Okay, so now while you're creating your content, I want you to remember, this is also part of my secrets, is the 3C. What does the 3C stand for? The 3C's basically stands for character, conflict, and conclusion. Those 3C's are actually what's going to bring your story to your content. This is what's going to be able to formulate our story that we want to tell our audience of how we want to perceive ourselves. So every time you want to design a new story and you want to work on a specific type of idea on your content, remember the 3C's. The 3C's stand for character, conflict, and conclusion. So remember this whenever you're designing any of your stories or even any of your short form or long form content. So you first have to identify the main character, as we identified, since it's your own personal brand. So this is going to be you in that case. You are the main character in the story. Now, second thing is it's actually about the conflict. So you have to be vulnerable. You cannot just be, oh, my life is so perfect. I have this car, I do this and do that, and hide all the conflict that you had to go through in your life to reach where you are right now. So for example, if you're a digital marketer, you have to tell how, okay, for example, you had some sort of like rough life growing up, and you had to teach these things to yourself. You have worked in many companies and you gained so much experience and you went through this, went through that. Share that you're a human. Share basically your everything that makes you vulnerable. Share it. So basically people don't think that they're just watching some sort of like AI content. You have to share what makes you unique. You have to make people relate to you. People don't want to even see perfect anymore. They want someone that they can relate to. Now the conclusion. The conclusion is basically after the conflict and after all the things you have to go through, the breakthrough came. And then how you woke up one day and you decided that you're going to turn your life around. You're going to be that girl. You're going to wake up, have that business, do this, do that, travel the world. Yes, people want to see that as well, because people want to see there's hope. Okay, so even if there's difficulty and they can relate to that, they also want to see that there is hope. So share that as well with your audience. Tell them, how did you take that step in finally being in front of the camera, or in finally taking that career that you are trying to share online for yourself. Okay, now we have identified everything about ourselves. We understand everything about our story, how we want to be perceived, what is the thing that we want to put online, what are we passionate about. Now let's go on and focus on who are we going to address this content to, because this plays a huge role when we are trying to present ourselves online and when we're trying to make content online for those people. Like if you're creating content for basically managers who are 50 years old, it's not going to be the same type of content that you're making for like people between 18 to 25 years old. There's going to be a different context. There has to be like a different messaging even with it. So right now we need to identify who are the people who you want to engage with your videos and who are the people you want them to engage with your personal branding online. Basically, who is going to benefit the most from your product or service online? Now, one thing is try to observe from the people who are already working with you. So, for example, before you started your personal brand, try to remember what was the good points that your boss used to say about you. What are your family and friends continuously repeating about you? So, what are they saying? What is your strong point? Is it that they feel they can trust you? Is it that you're a good communicator? Is it that you know how to close sales? What is it? So try to identify that. Now, second point is you need to know your service or your product inside out. So the thing is, if you're going to package your career and who you are as a person in the form of a service or a product, how would that be? You have to understand that pretty well before you even put yourself out there. What medium or method will you showcase your expertise? What results will your product or service create? And can that person that you're trying to approach, can they afford it? Who are your competitors and what are they offering? Now, the third point is this is something that's going to help you a lot, is actually by trying to create an avatar for like who are the ideal person for you. So how old are they? What are their interests? What are their pain points? What is something that they want to solve in their life? What is the thing that they are looking for when they're opening social media? When you kind of draw this type of person and identify them, this is going to help you as well when you're trying to address them. Now, the fourth point I have is discover the right social media platform to start on, because as I mentioned, you trying to approach managers who are above 50 is you're not going to probably find them on TikTok more than probably on LinkedIn. So maybe you should focus your personal branding online on LinkedIn instead. So you have to identify very well who are the audience and where are they located before you invest your efforts in the wrong platform. Now, next step for us is that we need to start planning our content calendar, because consistency is key on building your personal brand online. Now, two of my favorite tools for basically observing your analytics and setting out your posts online and basically creating a content calendar is Hotsuite and Metricool, and my personal favorite is actually Metricool. Now, one of the biggest tips that I would recommend is prepare your content calendar at least 30 days in advance. But in the same time, I understand this could be very, very difficult for a lot of you, and especially that you're already working like a job or two. This is going to seem impossible. So since I don't want to discourage you, at least do it a week in advance. Prepare all the content that you want to create, both picture and video format. Maybe just take one day in a weekend and focus on this, and then schedule all of them throughout the week so you don't have to keep trying to keep track on posting and writing the captions. Just prepare everything in that same day and schedule it out for the week. Now, after you have done that, the next step will be for you to identify the public holidays that are within your area or within the area that you are trying to target. So, for example, what are the holidays that they are doing? So, for example, if you're targeting the Middle East, maybe focusing more on Muslim holidays. If you're targeting Europe, maybe focus more on Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter. So, kind of look at the religious holidays that they have, look at even their public holidays, and this is something that you can include in your calendar. So, for example, one of the events, for example, is Women's Day. So maybe this is something you're going to create content about Women's Day on Women's Day, for example. So just pay attention to all the important days that are happening during the year and put them out in your content calendar. Now, the last thing is I would want you to identify, do you want to focus on long form content or short form content? Now, let's come to the part that you've all been waiting for: monetization. Now, my personal two favorites, and in my opinion, they pay the most, they are the most platforms that are really worth your efforts, are basically YouTube and TikTok. YouTube would pay you by the ad revenue, and TikTok is going to pay you by the Creator Fund program. The thing is with both TikTok and YouTube that not everyone gets the same pay. Where you're located plays a factor, where your audience are located plays a factor. What is the type of content that you are creating also plays a factor. So you have to pay attention to those details when you are starting out your personal brand. Try to pick a niche that does have potential to grow, and in the same time, maybe I understand that most of them right now have a lot of competition, but I hope this is something that doesn't discourage you, because there's always room for everyone. Now, the second aspect is try to look for a niche that is eventually going to be highly paying. Now, for YouTube, YouTube offers several high-paying niches for content creators. Finance and investing stand out, with potential earning ranging from $1.61 to $29.30 per 1,000 views. Notable success stories include YouTuber Joshua Mayo, who made over $600,000 in his first year with videos on side hustles and investment strategies. So now that's a big number. That's basically like, I don't even think doctors earn that much in a year. So this is something that's definitely like worth looking into. Basically, what niche you pick in the long term, this is something that can literally change your life. Business is another lucrative niche with an average RPM of $18, and entrepreneurs like Ali Abdal earning millions annually through various income streams. Actually, one of the videos that I've seen for Ali Abdal, how he mentioned that he was literally a doctor and he quit that to become a full-time content creator, really blew my mind. And how he made, I think, in 1 year like $4 million. So this is like crazy. And you just look at these people and you're like, I am really proud of them. And this is something that it's a big opportunity and a big sea for everyone to join there. Health and fitness, real estate, auto reviews, digital marketing, and tutorials also offer substantial earning potential, with reported RPMs ranging from $4 to over $60. Beyond ad revenue, creators can leverage brand deals, sponsorship, and product creation to maximize income in these niches. Okay, now let's look together at some of the monetization requirements for every one of those platforms. So for YouTube, you're going to need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in the last 12 months. You have to live in a country or region where the program is available, and you have to comply with YouTube monetization policies. With Facebook, you have to put out your paywall. So for example, you need at least 10,000 followers or at least 250 return viewers, 50,000 post engagements, or 180,000 watch minutes in the last 60 days, which is a lot. And this is why I don't often recommend for people to be that active on Facebook or on Instagram. And I'm gonna get even about a little bit about Instagram. With the monetization, when it comes directly from the ads, let's say with Facebook, this can be a little bit difficult. It really takes a lot of time for people to reach there. This is like, I have observed, I think I know only one person who's probably monetized on Facebook. Other than that, everyone tend to recommend for me that it's really not worth investing this much time on it compared to, for example, YouTube or TikTok. Now let's get into TikTok. You have to be at least 18 years old. You have to own a personal or creator account. Business accounts are not eligible. You have to have over 100,000 followers, have uploaded at least 3 videos in the last 28 days, received over 100,000 likes on their videos in the past 28 days, live within the 24 countries where TikTok Creator Marketplace is available. So yes, TikTok is a challenge, but the good thing is TikTok is one of the easiest places to grow organically. Now with Instagram, as much as I have looked, I don't know anyone who is monetized through Instagram. I understand that maybe they are creating a program in the US at the time being, but worldwide, I don't think this is something that's active right now. So usually people's Instagram income comes from sponsorship. So now let's look at the different type of followers. If you have them, basically like what is the range and what is your income depending on the amount of followers that you're going to be having, how much you can charge for sponsorship. So this is something we can look into a little bit. I hope this is going to be helpful. But for Instagram, I couldn't find any data, or I don't even know anybody who is monetized like just directly through the platform. I know they're using it just through their sponsorships. So basically, you have to connect with brands for sponsorships and collaborations. You have to be required at least 10,000 followers, but honestly, this is really not necessary because there's different types of influencers that brands like to deal with. And this is something that I'm going to be getting with eventually. Like I'm going to be talking about it a little bit more eventually. So affiliate marketing is one of the biggest ways of income for many people who have their personal brand online and they have it on different platforms. Affiliate marketing is one of their highest actually paid ways, even more than AdSense, and compared to YouTube, for example. Some people would prefer, even depending on affiliate marketing, more than that. Now for Twitter or X, the user must have a minimum of 5 million tweet impressions in the last 3 months. The user must maintain 500 active followers or more. Now with Snapchat, you need to have a large and engaged audience. It's also one of the hard platforms to get monetized on. You have to aim for at least 50,000 followers and 25 million monthly views and post a minimum of 10 brand safe stories a month with at least 20 snaps each. Yes, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work like Facebook, honestly. But for example, Snapchat is quite popular in India, in the United States, and in the Middle East, and it's literally the highest source of income for many, many people that I know. But for me, it's not really my cup of tea. It's not where I feel like I can be present there. I would prefer to focus on platforms like YouTube and TikTok, at least in my niche. This is something I do enjoy doing. Okay, now let's look at the rates that come with every one of these platforms so you can kind of know what is really worth your time and your effort to begin with. Okay, so with YouTube, as ad revenue can average around $3 to $5 per 1,000 views as your RPM. But successful YouTubers with high engagement and big audience can make much more. As we have seen, like literally it can reach above $18. YouTube creators receive 55% of the ad revenue from their videos. So basically your ad revenue is not, you don't take all of it to yourself. YouTube does take their cut as well, but you keep 55%. Now with Facebook pays publishers and content creators an average of $0.01 to $0.02 per view, depending on various factors such as video length, quality, audience, demographics, and advertisers' demand for ad placements. Okay, so whoever is monetized on Facebook, please comment under this video. I really want to know your experience with it, because from my opinion, I just feel like it's not really a platform that is really worth getting into. But if you are a person who got monetized on Facebook, please share your experience. Was it really hard? Was it easy? How long did it take until you actually reached there? I would love to know, and probably people who are watching this video would love to know as well. Now, for Instagram, I told you I'm going to be discussing with you as an influencer your rates and how much you should be charging. So, as I said, I told you that you don't have to have 10,000 followers because there's different types of influencers. So, for example, there's something called nano influencer. Nano influencer is basically people between 1,000 to 10,000 followers, and usually you can charge per post between $10 to $100 per post. Now, for micro influencers, these are the people who have between 10,000 followers all the way until 50,000 followers. These people can charge between $100 to $500 per post. Now, next we have are the mid-tier influencers. The mid-tier influencers have between 50,000 followers to 500,000 followers, and they can charge anywhere between $500 to $5,000 per post. Then we have the macro influencers. Macro influencers are basically people who have between 500,000 followers all the way until 1 million followers. They can charge between $5,000 per post to $10,000 per post. Okay guys, literally, like if you have one brand deal, this is like a good enough income for your entire month. So I really hope you're considering starting your own personal brand at this point. Now the final type are the mega influencers. Okay, like Kim Kardashian, we're probably not surprised that we have heard that she earns those numbers, and it does make so much sense. So for mega influencers, they can earn basically between $10,000 per post to $1 million per post. So for TikTok, you can expect to earn between $0.02 and $0.04 for every 1,000 views from the creator fund. But to be honest, they're increasing this at this point. I think this year there was like so much demand about the rates for TikTok, and it changed now. I think it doubled or even tripled in value. Now, that's actually between $20 to $40 for every 1 million views. Now, for Twitter, or basically X, I'm still really ashamed that they changed the name Twitter to X, but anyway. So creators can earn up to 97% of the revenue X makes from their content after in-app purchase fees, until they reach to $50,000 in a lifetime earning across all X monetization products. All right, last but not least, we have Snapchat. So for Snapchat, we have earnings per view can range from $0.01 to $0.10. This implies potential earnings between $10,000 to $100,000 for 1 million views. Now I'm going to be sharing with you quickly what are some ways where you can monetize yourself as an influencer. And then I'm going to get deeper into each one of them and how to get started in my upcoming videos. If this is something you're interested in, please leave that down in the comments section. Now, we also have the sponsored content where we addressed that earlier, the affiliate marketing, where basically you promote other companies' products and earn a commission for that. Then there's like selling your own products or services online, because now you're a known person, so you're creating kind of like organic marketing for your products and services. Now, there's also the brand ambassadorship, where basically you take things a step farther than sponsored content by becoming the brand ambassador. That means representing a brand for a longer period, creating multiple campaigns together. So it's not just a collaboration on one-time base. Also, you have social media platform monetization, just like how we discussed with YouTube and TikTok. They do pay you for the ads that are displayed on your videos. Also offer paid subscriptions and exclusive content. And then we can look also into the events. If you are a known person, you can host events and you can make people pay to attend those events and network with you. Create and sell educational content. So for example, if you have ebooks or courses, this is something that you can offer online and charge for that. Now, thank you so much for this. I deeply hope that was helpful to you. I hope you learned something new about personal branding, and I hope you're considering starting your own personal brand in 2024. I deeply hope this personal branding video was able to open your eyes to the different opportunities you can have with putting yourself out there. And I know it can get overwhelmed when you see that there's a lot of people doing that. So you see, like, okay, what is the point of me doing it? But don't think that there's always an opportunity for everyone, and everyone is unique in their own way. As I mentioned, maybe you know how to do PPC campaigns, for example, but you are only one you, okay? So there's only one Sundus, and this is already unique enough. So start your own personal brand, and don't forget to find us on LinkedIn, on YouTube. You'll also find us on Facebook and on Instagram. We share a lot of tips there, and also you can book with us if specifically if you're a startup business or if you're a student who want to learn more about digital marketing. You can book a 30-minute free consultation call with my team. We'll be very happy to help you in whatever you need. Thank you so much, and see you in our next video. Goodbye.